I beg you, stop beating our children. That is violence. And when you do that, what you're teaching the child is that the only way to resolve conflict is to resort to violence.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is right. If our children are taught from an early age that violence is acceptable, what kind of future will we be creating? It's up to us as adults to steer our children along the right path so that they are able to achieve their full potential, and in so doing, play their part in making Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. You're tuned in to Jamaica Magazine. Stay with us.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, May 14. After 3 sittings of the Upper House, the new road traffic bill was passed with 161 amendments on Friday. The bill, which was approved by the Lower House with 131 amendments on February 6, seeks to repeal and replace the existing 1938 Act. The bill will establish new offenses as well as provide increased penalties for breaches. The new road traffic bill will be sent to the House of Representatives for approval, after which, if there are no changes, it will be accepted by the Governor-General, gazetted, and passed into law. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who piloted the bill through the Senate, thanked both sides of the House for their constructive contribution to the process of modernizing the legislation, which has taken almost 20 years.
Our deepest and most sincere thanks to the technical team, from the Attorney General's chambers, from Parliamentary Council, from the Ministry of Transport, from the Road Safety Council, and all the stakeholders.
She noted that the updated bill is now suited to the current realities on the roads, particularly in relation to the high number of fatalities due to road crashes. Among the features of the new Road Traffic Act are restrictions on handheld devices and a requirement for drivers to have a license in their possession while operating a vehicle. Also, no grace period is allowed to produce a permit or driver's license if it is found that the motorist does not have this document on his or her person. Some of the offenses for which heavy fines will be imposed under the bill include driving without the required motor vehicle insurance coverage, for which the fine is $20,000. Driving a motor vehicle without being the holder of a permit or driver's license is now $40,000, and the failure of a driver to obey a traffic light is $24,000. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says government is moving to adequately equip members of the police force to effectively respond to crime and violence. Minister Chang says his ministry has been mandated to urgently complete the acquisition of information communication technology, ICT solutions, and applications.
Modern developments in technology, forensic science, and intelligence gathering must become part and parcel of policing in this country and afford for the young men who join a professional pathway. Acquisition of industry-specific 21st century equipment is a priority of the ministry. We intend to increase the efficiency of the JCF by providing appropriate tools to create a more comfortable and customer-focused force, but one that can deal with the challenges of the 21st century as criminals move in every way to undermine the states and, in fact, damage the police force.
The National Security Minister was speaking at the passing out parade for 195 new constables at Harmon Barracks on Friday. Minister Chang says the Jamaica Constabulary Force intends to recruit and train over 1,000 new police personnel this year as part of efforts to increase the number of officers engaged in the field. Still on security, Portfolio Minister Dr. Horace Chang has reiterated government's commitment to supporting the police force in restoring public order through the provision of the necessary human resources, technology, and infrastructure needed to effectively execute their duties.
The ministry is committed to providing the Commissioner and his team and the police force with equipment and the political support required to ensure that they can maintain good order in developing the wider community and society.
This, the minister says, will not only re-establish credibility in the force, but also create the environment in which the National Development Plan Vision 2030 Jamaica can be realized. Minister Chang made the pledge Tuesday at the Lasco Jamaica Constabulary Force Police Officer of the Year Awards. Constable Davian Martin was named the 2018-2019 winner. He beat 8 other officers to cop top honors at the awards, which is in its 18th year. During his tenure at the Mandeville Police Station, the constable moved the youth club membership to 80 and donated the proceeds of a 5K run-walk to initiate an annual Feed the Street People program. The Jamaica Tourist Board, JTB, is aiming to engage potential visitors through the use of social media. The JTB has launched the Join Me in Jamaica digital marketing campaign. The campaign features a series of 90-second videos showcasing local Jamaican celebrities and personalities sharing unique stories of their love for the country. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says to achieve growth in tourist arrivals, technology must be incorporated in marketing plans.
These videos will now populate our space, our social space, and we'll be able to have connectivity to every corner of the world. And the language part of it, yes, we've worked on, and the technology allows instant translation. So utilizing technology now is to define the new path.
The videos are being promoted via the JTB's social media channels. During the first phase of the campaign, a total of 8 videos were produced highlighting the country's music, cuisine, and attractions. And finally, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, has launched its Pediatric Pulse booklet. The booklet speaks to treatment and care of various common illnesses such as vomiting, diarrhea, seizures, fever, coughing, and wheezing. While speaking at the launch recently, Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA, Rosalie Gage-Gray, says the booklet is a resource guide for medical practitioners, caregivers, and the wider society.
This is indeed very timely, as it will provide practitioners with critical information as to how to react and mitigate specific illnesses, as well as give general tips to promote good pediatric health.
The 23-page Pediatric Pulse was compiled by a case review panel which consists of pediatric practitioners, psychologists, psychiatrists, and representatives from the Health Ministry and the CPFSA.
They examine the critical incidents involving hospitalization and deaths, and they make determination as to whether all reasonable actions have been taken to investigate and report the circumstances of the incidents to the relevant and appropriate authorities.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
What is the National Identification System? The new National ID will for the first time give Jamaicans one ID that is trusted and verifiable. This means easier access to government services like PATH and NIS. It will be easier to do business with the government and the private sector. Eventually, there'll be no need to walk with more than one ID. Support the new National ID. Get the facts at nidsfacts.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at nidsfacts.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness had a busy schedule this past week. Catch up on some of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister says NIDS will modernize Jamaica. Partnership for Prosperity members discuss pressing issues, and
reading is actually a learned skill, and you have to be very involved in the development of the reading skill with your child.
You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says his administration will be targeting schools and institutions as part of a road safety public education campaign. Mr. Holness says the state will also improve communication across agencies to further develop the island's road network and traffic ticketing system. Prime Minister made those commitments Thursday as he chaired a meeting of the National Road Safety Council. He urged the council to continue to educate the public about safe road usage while providing the tools motorists and pedestrians need to practice. The Prime Minister also met with members of the Partnership for Prosperity on Thursday. Crime, public sector transformation and economic growth with job creation were some of the topics discussed. Still at Jamaica House Thursday, Mr. Holness met with Jamaica's ambassador-designate to the Republic of Cuba, Catherine Phipps. As he welcomed Ambassador Phipps, Prime Minister Holness instructed her to build on the long-standing relationship between Jamaica and Cuba. Among the areas of focus for the ambassador are the deepening of partnerships in trade, health, education, security and cultural exchange. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness participated in activities to mark Read Across Jamaica Day. Mr. Holness spent the 2018 observance at the St. Joseph Infant School in downtown Kingston, where he read to students. He also issued books to the little ones. And following a tour of the school's library, Mr. Holness urged parents and guardians to read with their children.
There's a difference between counting words and reading. Reading, the ultimate objective of reading is to communicate an understanding. So there are many students in school who are counting words, but they can't communicate through reading and they are not gaining any understanding. And that's another error. Parents oftentimes will hear their children counting the words, calling the words, but not reading them in a way that either communicates a meaning to people listening or themselves gaining understanding.
And last week, the Prime Minister defended his government's drafting of the National Identification Registration Act, which will create a National Identification System NIDS. Word came Tuesday that the parliamentary opposition had filed a lawsuit challenging aspects of the act. But in a release, the government said it was confident that all efforts were made in the drafting of the NIDS bill to ensure that it is in keeping with the spirit of the Jamaican Constitution. The government also said it was carefully studying the opposition's challenge to the legislation. According to the release, NIDS is one of the most important advancements in Jamaica's modernizing efforts. This as it will ensure that all Jamaicans have access to a universally accepted, secure and efficient system of identity verification. It will also make transactions and access to services easier for all citizens, allowing the government to adequately plan for the needs of all Jamaicans. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us again next time for more of the news coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
The National ID will protect your identity. In these modern times, we all need protection from fraud and identity theft. We're moving Jamaica into the modern era, where your privacy is top priority. Your fingerprint and your picture will secure your ID. This is no different from when you apply for a visa or a passport. Get the facts at nidsfacts.com. NIDS is here for your protection.
Whether it is increasing the efficiency of the public sector, the speed at which we do business, and giving the citizen an identity, the government is acting in the best interest of the citizen.
That's the aim of the National Identification System, giving Jamaicans greater access to public goods by making persons known to the state. Get more facts on the benefits of the National Identification System, NIDS.
The government is moving towards implementing a national identification system NIDS that will become the primary source for identity assurance and verification of all Jamaican citizens. The NIDS will establish a reliable and accurate database and provide each individual with a legal identity. Citizens by birth or persons ordinarily resident in Jamaica will be issued a National Identification Number NIN and a National Identification Card.
A NIN is from cradle to death. Upon death, it is retired in the system, but it is never used again for anyone else.
To receive this card and facilitate the data collection process, persons will be asked to provide key information. Information required includes your name, date of birth, address, email, and phone number. In addition, your photograph and fingerprint will be taken. The biographic and biometric information are mandatory for the identity verification database. However, it's voluntary for individuals to provide information on their place of employment, profession, family status, education, and religion. So what will not be collected?
DNA will not be collected. Let me just mention quickly that financial information will not be collected either. Political affiliation and sexual orientation is omitted, and it states so in the bill.
The following documents will be required where applicable once enrollment begins in September 2018.
If somebody refuses to sign up for the NIDS, there won't be a penalty in the sense that there is no punitive measures outlined in the bill that is before Parliament.
The National Identification Card will display your name, nationality, place and date of birth, and address. The card will also bear a unique 9-digit number. The numbers will be randomly selected and bear no relation to your date of birth or sex. The 9 digits are in keeping with the same number of digits in the tax registration number TRN, and also to fit into systems that are already configured to accommodate 9 digits.
We wanted to facilitate a situation where there would not be this enormous retrofitting.
The initial ID is free, and if you do lose your ID, there will be a cost to replace it initially.
The National Identification System will give the government an authoritative position to be able to identify its citizens. It will also provide accurate data for national planning, eliminate multiple government-issued IDs, and create a shared data system within ministries, departments, and agencies of government. NIDS will seek to eliminate multiple identities and identity theft, strengthen immigration and border control, and ensure public and national safety. It will also improve the country's international standing and credibility.
Once we put this in and all of us have our national identification numbers and cards, there is no question who we are. So when you're doing business with an overseas entity or locally, it is giving us as the people of Jamaica and the country far more credibility in the international sphere.
The benefits to citizens are many. In addition to the one ID, one identity, it will enable better delivery of service by the state and the private sector.
If you look at countries who are progressing and are trying to move into the digital age and give better service to their citizens, you have to, as a criteria, have a way of identifying your citizens. For example, how many people need welfare in this particular parish? How many kids need PATH? Is there duplication among people accessing government benefits? Is there a better way of assessing the people in a particular area in terms of are they accessing enough benefits? So that is the idea. So it's a holistic development of doing business, making it easier to do business, giving you a confirmed identity.
Jamaicans, here are the facts about NIDS. You will not go to prison for not having a national ID. You will not be denied access to public health services or your personal doctor. You will not be denied access to education. And we do not want your DNA or your banking information. Just like the national census, you can volunteer information, but you will not be forced to reveal your private business. You will have over 3 years to get the new ID, and it is free. Don't follow rumors. Get the facts at nidsfacts.com.
Violence against children should never be tolerated. We as a people should always strive to safeguard the young among us.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next prime minister. I say if you watch what you saying to me daughter, cause in the long run she could be your doctor.
Should you beat them? Should you not beat them? Beating versus beat up.
coming from a scriptural perspective, and I want to use one of the most provocative texts that I think many persons misunderstand. And that is Proverbs chapter 13:24. Whoever spares the rod hates their children, but the one who loves their children is careful to discipline them. The rod has been mistaken many times. I do believe and I do share that, yes, a child can be spanked, but it must be properly done. It must be done out of love and not through anger. If a parent is angry, I don't think at any time the child should be touched. The child must be disciplined with love.
What the research, Jamaican research says is that children who are beaten are also more likely to be very aggressive. Now, at UNICEF, we don't subscribe to the beating or beat up philosophy. We don't think there is a choice. We think discipline should be about developing the child. And the research suggests that physical punishment, including beating, don't help in that regard.
My mother never understood what it was to have a light hand. You know that, like what them say, yo, drive a foot them heavy on the pedal? Why? She floor it. And so my siblings and I experienced abuse at the highest levels, whether it was from the knife, from teeth in Aketa the pot, and then she push her hand in there and say enough teeth, which I thought were common mischief that any child would commit. My mother died when I was 9. My brother a year before. Brother was bad man and thing, and we go crush her ends and him get shot, 3 shots, and he died in front of me. And so as a child I had experienced so much hurt, not just from the physical pain but the emotional hurt as well. After my mother died, I was living on the street for about a year and a half. But I can say right now that because of the Child Development Agency, I'm able to stand where I am without being incarcerated or dead right now. And so life took a turn for the better. So push your children, encourage your children, love your children.
If you need to make a report, you hear that a child has been, is being, or is likely to be abused sexually, physically, emotionally, or is in need of care and protection, you may call the Office of the Children's Advocate, or you can call the OCR at 1-888-PROTECT, and they will ensure that the matter is passed on to the relevant agency for investigation.
Right now, if my child do something bad, I'm gonna beat her. So are you saying not to hit her? Because I'm not saying, I say it's discipline, you know, because being honest, it feels like a cultural thing. Once you're rude, you get beaten.
You do not need to hit your child. I would wonder why you need to hit her. You're about 8 times her body weight. If a man 8 times your body weight hits you, what would you do? If you teach your child to receive blows from you, you're teaching your child to receive blows from anyone.
I would like to know how you go about teenagers who are in school smoking and hard drugs and those things. How you go about
Behavior?
how you go about schooling those?
The first thing to do is get that child to a counselor, because there's a reason why they would have started abusing drugs. There's always a reason, either through peer pressure or access, or it's a family thing.
A counselor. In this society, almost everything costs money. Enough parents don't have it.
All right, there are some free clinics around, I can tell you about them. There is the Child Guidance Clinic, and there are many child guidance clinics all over the island. Many of them are actually attached to the hospital.
Sometimes it involves taking them to this police station and let the police give them a verbal warning, let them know that you are serious.
So simple things like timeout. right? Where
What
they
is
have
that?
they have to go, if a child is 2 years old and has done something which is not within the rules of the household, that child is asked to stand in a corner, sit in a special chair, go to a place for usually it's a number of minutes related to the age of the child. So a 2-year-old, 2 minutes quiet time, no talking, nothing.
I say be careful what you teach a little.
Mommy, Daddy, Auntie, Uncle, Grandma, Grandpa, my cousin, I want you to affirm me. Acknowledge the good things I do. Tell me how proud you are of my achievements. And even when I fall short of your expectations, remind me that I am still your child and I am still loved. Be my friend. Sometimes I just need a hug. Someone to tell me that everything is going to be okay. Favor me. I love when you spend time with me. Take me places and show interest in the things I like to do. Please, influence me positively. Be the one to lead by example. Show me the type of person I should be as an adult. Do not curse, smoke, or talk negatively around me. Respect me. I may be small now, but I will become an adult soon. I may just be the one to take care of you when you are old. Do not abuse me. And motivate me. Be my champion, my source of love, support, and knowledge. Be my biggest cheerleader. I want to live up to my fullest potential and help make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
This is where the magazine closes for today, but there's a lot more to see on our webpage, jis.gov.jm. There you may find relevant information on government projects and policies. For more television features, visit our YouTube channel. We're also on other social media sites, or you may download from the iOS and Android-based app stores to stay informed while you're on the go. Until next time, take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.